we are recording this, and for anyone that misses it. So welcome,
Okay.
everyone. My name is Keith Hannon from the Athletics Office of Alumni Affairs and Development. Thanks for joining this town hall. As you can imagine, with all of us sent home for a while, we're trying to do all we can to connect with students and friends of our programs. And so thank you all for taking time out of your evening to join us. This is mainly going to be the Trudy show, but I wanted to welcome you and thank you for attending, and let you know that we're going to be doing a lot of these for probably every program is our goal, get through every program between now and even if we get to go back to the office, we'll keep them going until we get through everybody. That's our goal. So it's been fun. We've enjoyed these, and it's a great way to keep in touch. And when everything returns to normal, there's no reason we shouldn't keep them going. So we hope you'll be regular guests with us. So with that, I will turn it over to Trudy. And before we get going, I would just ask that everyone mute, and then as we get to a more interactive portion of the program, we may ask you to lend your voices. But it's going to be Trudy, and then Trudy's going to talk to some of our current players, and then we'll get into some Q&A. So Trudy, it's all yours, and whenever you're ready to launch our trivia, you just let me know.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thanks you guys for putting this together. This is awesome. I do hope that we continue to do this after. I think it's a great way to see everyone. Obviously, when you're at a place like Cornell in the middle of upstate New York, everyone's from all over the country. So I think this is cooler than email for sure. So it's great to see all your faces. I hope you guys are all doing well, handling this quarantine okay. I'm thankful I have 4 crazy dogs and a big yard to do stuff. So I hope you guys are all at least getting outside every once in a while, getting some stuff done, maybe sleeping in. I know our players, if I ask for a meeting before noon, they're usually like, that doesn't work. Or if I do call in before noon, you can tell that they're still sleeping. So it's pretty funny, but I get it. But thank you all for being here. It's so great. Like I said, it's so great to see all of you. 3 of our current players are going to jump on in a couple of minutes. They're a lot more exciting than I am. So if you have any questions for them about how they're handling this and, what they're doing as a team outside, like as a coaching staff, we're not really allowed to do very much with them at this point, except just checking in and make sure they're okay. Which is ultimately the most important part. So I know that they have set up a way to keep each other in contact and communication so that we're still going to reach all of our goals this fall. We're not thinking about this fall yet as far as what's going to happen because it could drive you crazy. So we're just taking it one day at a time and doing what we can. So Keith asked me to go through our season last year. I know many of you have daughters on the team, so you know a lot of the stuff already as far as results, but there was just, it really was an incredible season. A lot of great things happened, getting better every year. I couldn't be more excited about how that team, and you say that team because every year it's different, obviously, how they came together and did some amazing things out on the court. And I know a lot of you were at a lot of those matches and you saw how exciting our team and how hard they work and how just the great chemistry that this team has. So it's very easy to coach them. So just to kind of summarize the season, preseason went great. We were 8-2. Went to California, which was wonderful. Just getting out to the West Coast and getting some of our players closer to home. So more of their relatives, their more distant relatives could come watch them play. Try to do that every year. Try to get us a little bit closer to a group of players. So the cousins and the aunts and uncles and, more extended family can come to watch them play. So went out to St. Mary's, played St. Mary's, Utah State and University of USF, San Francisco. I still look at Caitlin when I can't think of stuff, even on the Zoom, and she's like, she's got me. She's like nodding her head. It was a crazy trip. We didn't leave until about noon, 1 o'clock our time. Flights got delayed all over the place. I don't think we got to our hotel until about 1 o'clock in the morning, California time, which was 4 a.m. our time. Again, so lucky to have this team. They weren't complaining. They were doing yoga on our layover in JFK, all this stuff, and just having a good time, getting their Chick-fil-A, because, you know, we don't have one in Ithaca, which I don't know how they could even come here without a Chick-fil-A, but we got Chipotle, so that's cool. But got there at 1 o'clock in the morning and had this wonderful brunch hosted by the Bear Bombs the next morning around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then we turned around and played St. Mary's at 7 o'clock that night. Or was it 6 o'clock, Caitlin? 7. Somewhere around there. But it ended up being a 5-set match, 2.5 hours. Probably the longest I've coached since rally scores started in years. We lost in 5, which was a bummer, of course. St. Mary's is a perennial great team. I mean, they go to the NCAA tournament pretty much every year. So it was a great match. And then we had to turn around and play. So we didn't get out of there until 10 o'clock California time, which was, again, 1 o'clock our time. Had to turn around and play at Utah State at 11 o'clock the next morning. Pretty much cleaned the floor with them, which was awesome. And then had to drive from St. Mary's to USF, which was about 45 minutes to an hour, and play them at 5 and beat them in 4. So we played 3 matches in 22 hours out in California. But what was great, the reason we did that was then the Barbers, Lily's parents, Greg and Audrey, hosted this amazing meal outside of their out in their backyard, and Audrey was excited about it because it forced Greg to finish all the yard work out back. But it was wonderful. So many people came to that, and got out of there around 11 o'clock, got to our hotel around midnight, and got to the airport at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, but you know, they never complained once. They worked their butts off. We played incredible matches, and that's when I knew that this was a special team, that we were going to have a great season. Went to Buffalo the next weekend, beat all the teams, beat Buffalo in 5, and just 8-2 preseason. It was amazing. Go into Ivy League play. Started with an 11-match winning streak. So, you know, it was incredible. It was so much fun. 2 of those matches came with 3 starters out. I don't know how many of you guys remember that. Zoe remembers it. Hi, Zoe. But we had 3 starters out, and came together and still beat up on Harvard and Dartmouth relatively easily. We beat Princeton at their place for the first time since, oh my gosh, I should have looked that up. It's been a long time, since like 2004 or 5, something like that. It was, what was so special about this team, and I've talked to them about this, we had a lot of injuries this year, and I never want to use that as a mistake, but there wasn't a match after the first half of Ivy League that we didn't have at least one regular starter out. But what was incredible was that other kids stepped up and played so well when we needed them to. They were ready for it. They were focused. They knew the game plan. We didn't have to worry about them for a second. Hi, Nina. It seems so many people now. So sorry, I'll keep going. But everyone on the team did what they needed to do to help us to continue to be successful. And I think if you came to our matches, you felt that. And even in the beginning of the season, when we were kind of working out the starting lineup, like any team has to do, the kids who weren't out there were still 100% into every match. And there was not a time in any match where I wasn't looking down the bench at wanting to put somebody in and saying, well, she's not even paying attention. Like that was never an issue this entire year. It was incredible. We're very lucky to have that. And if you've ever seen our bench during matches, I don't notice them. I notice Paige, Paul and Julie, because she's the closest to us, and she gets so animated she ends up almost on the court sometimes. But apparently they have like a whole set of cheers that they do. Hi, Maddie and Emma. And I've seen some through video since, and it's pretty hilarious. So I'm glad that you guys get to see it when you watch a match, because there's like a bowling one. I'll have them talk to you guys about that stuff in a little bit, but it's really, it makes a coach's job so easy when you have a group of kids like we have. And I've said that to many friends who coach college volleyball, and, you know, they'll tell me stuff that's going on with their team. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Okay, that really, I don't know how to handle that, but you know, we're good. So ended up third in the league again. Obviously we weren't excited about that. That's 3 years in a row. We did have the best record since 2005, I believe, something like that. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. But took third in the league. Jill got first team All-Ivy. Maddie, who's going to be talking to you guys in a little bit, Maddie and Jada both got second. We're not going to discuss the voting process in that. I'm not bitter about it. And then Lily also got second team All-Ivy, right? Yes. So we had 3 on second team, 1 on first team. So that was really exciting. Jada got academic All-Ivy. We had 3 kids with 4.0s this semester, which is crazy at a place like Cornell. So they complain about morning practice, but our GPA has gone up every year. So I don't know what kind of PowerPoint is going to change my mind at this point. They did PowerPoints last spring to try to get us out of spring practice. We had one group that, what were they called? The coalition.
The afternoon coalition.
Yeah.
The afternoon coalition and the morning what?
You named the morning group, like the morning brigade or something.
Yeah.
I don't think they had a name. They weren't as solid as the coalition.
Yeah, but they definitely put together a better presentation than you guys did. So they did presentations, like PowerPoint presentations, to say why we should do afternoon practices again, but we stuck with morning. Sorry, guys. So that being said, you know, they went home for Christmas break. What's great too is, you know, when I started here, we didn't have as many volleyball nuts on the team. So the NCAA tournament was going on, and these kids, like, I would text the group and be like, who do you think is going to win? And I think almost the entire team was watching some of these matches at some point. Like, it's great. They're just complete volleyball nuts, and they want to be there. They want to be in that NCAA tournament. They want to be, you know, they want people to bet on us, you know. Spring season came around. We were ready to go. Spring season was going really well. We lost a group of seniors who were great leaders, had loud voices in the gym and in the weight room and outside of that. So that's our big goal this spring. Still, I mean, just because we're not there, it doesn't mean we're not focusing on those goals, is to find those voices. We have a ton of kids who have a ton of experience at this point. We have kids who have been leaders in the past for former teams, so I'm not worried about it. They just haven't had to speak as much, if that makes sense. So we're making great progress in that. Maddie and Zoey, who are on the call with us, are returning captains for us, and they're doing great. And they'll talk to you guys a little bit about what they're doing right now to keep the team together and on the right path through this craziness. Let's see. We hired Kris. So Kris is here somewhere. Kris. Hi, Kris. That was a huge get for us. He has a ton of head coaching experience, ACC, AAC, and SEC coaching experience. He's been around for a long time, longer than me. Woo! And he has already been a huge impact in our gym. We're working on a whole new blocking scheme, which is great. It's going to be kind of difficult to figure out how to keep doing it to make sure we're ready for this fall, but he's working through that, and the girls are ready for that as well. So very excited about that. And then let me see. So everything was moving forward. Everything was clicking. Everything was going really well. And then I have to be honest, the email we got where spring sports were canceled, I got a little salty. And I'm only telling you guys this because I know you guys all went through this gamut of emotions as well as our players did. Like at first it was like, oh, come on, seriously, the spring sports? Geez. And it was only Ivy League schools too to start. And Anita's listening right now, so she's probably like, yep, she got a little salty. But I was like, why us? Like, why? Da, 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 da. And then literally 2 or 3 days later, spring sports got canceled. And they were still trying to do the hockey thing. And then a day later, they canceled the hockey championships. And then I said to myself, Trudy, you're ridiculous. Get over yourself. Like, it could be so much worse. It's so much bigger than the volleyball part of life. We have to take care of this. But and I know you guys probably all have sort of the same situation, like the disbelief, like what the heck, really, seriously? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, now I have to go and figure out how to work this Zoom thing and all that stuff, and figure out how to do. Right now, as a staff, we're on the road almost every weekend recruiting, and then we're training 5 days a week. So we go from probably the busiest time of the year, even busier because it's a different kind of chaotic busy in the spring than in the fall, because the fall we know where we're going, we know the schedule and all that stuff. So now I am sitting at home, still working, still getting stuff done, but I slept in my spare rooms. I rotated my rooms the last week just to mix it up because I'm so used to hotels. I don't know, day 30, what are you going to do, right? I mean, my spare room bed is actually quite comfortable. Who knew? So that's great. But the team has been doing really great with it. Obviously, at first it was, holy cow, when you got kids who are so focused on academics and student first, which is wonderful. Obviously when it happened, many like there were really no answers on how these things were going to be done. I mean, every day there was something different. Like at first we were staying until spring break. We were still going to be able to train. Remember that, guys? Doesn't that seem like 10 years ago already? Yeah, but then they're like 2 days later, it's like, nope, done, all that stuff. So, but again, I'm lucky to have a team. They're there for each other, and a team like them that, they're resilient, and they know when somebody is struggling, and they do everything they can to help them through that stuff. So it's been interesting trying to figure out this stuff. Recruiting has probably been the most difficult, to be honest, because we're on the road right now. We usually have a ton of visits in, trying to navigate that with a lot of Zoom phone calls with recruits, and a lot of phone calls. So, but I mean, that's sort of it. Do you think I hit on everything, Keith? I talked for a long time, I think. Probably too long. Yeah, I went over schedule.
No, it's okay.
About standard for me.
Got some new people filing in here, so
okay.
But I would say let's launch our trivia questions, and while people are looking at those, you can kind of intro the players, because at least one of these questions has to do with the players. So enjoy trying to answer these questions, and then when we're done talking to the players, we'll reveal results. And these came from Trudy, so.
I know the answers.
And actually, you know what? While you're watching this, Trudy, you want to run the highlights? The highlight video?
Oh, sure. I'm doing that?
No, I got it. But
okay. All right. Because I don't know how to do that. Zoey, you didn't know one of them?
Yeah, I don't know if I know the last one, and I feel a little horrible about that.
Okay, so this is our highlight video from last season. Are we just watching the last little bit of it?
Oh, sorry about that.
So this year, can you guys still hear me? Yeah? Okay. So this year we had our wonderful media guy come in and do a media day for our players. And so he did a lot of really fun stuff. I think the girls had a really good time with that and used it a ton throughout the season just to have little clips. This was our match versus Harvard. So we had three starters out. Emma Worthington had the chance to run a 5-1 in this situation and killed it. Jada had to play M1, which is not her thing, but she was incredible. Emma got Freshman of the Year this week. This is at Harvard later on in the season. Lauren Stubbs came in and killed it for us as well. She also played against Yale the weekend before and I think she had 16 kills and tooled the block about 100 times. Paige Becker came in and played for us as well. And I think she had 10 kills in this match, hit like 500. It was so fun to watch. Oh. Sorry if I make weird noises. We're not in the gym every day right now. This is all I got. That's Joanna Chang, a freshman for us. Here's Stubbs tooling the block. There's one. Let's count. Count together. 2. Oh, here's Maddie. Maddie! Sorry, guys. I get too excited. There's Avery, our sophomore right side. There's Stubbs, another kill. Another one. Franny from Yale was pretty upset because she just kept tooling her. Can't handle it, Maddie. And Jill. Can't handle it. Stubbs again. When you're counting them out loud, it's pretty funny. So this is Columbia. Columbia had a player who received All-American this year, which is pretty cool for the Ivy Leagues. Chi-Chi, she's graduated. Yay. There's Chi-Chi right there. Joanna, she's a freshman for us. Avery. Woohoo! Oh. Sorry.
I think that was timed well with a nice kill.
Oops. All right, I'm back. She settled down. Hey. This is at Princeton when we beat them in 4. It was pretty much awesome. If you see, like obviously the highlights are awesome, but if you see the team in the background cheering, it's pretty funny to watch. This view gives you a good view of them and their cheers.
Trudy, who do you think is the team to beat next year?
Cornell. So Princeton will still be good. They graduate 4 starters who've played all 4 years, but they always reload. Anyone in the Ivy League knows that. It's Princeton. And then Yale is always good. They graduate arguably one of the best setters that the Ivy League has ever had. So that's a tough position to replace. Woo, Jill. And so I would say those two. Brown is coming around. They have a good outside hitter coming in. And I think that Ahen's done a good job there. But, you know, we lost our last match against Dartmouth, the last match of the year. Sorry, Caitlin, I didn't mean to bring that up. But anyone can beat anyone on any given night, and I think our team knows that, and we're ready for that. So we're going to be good, though. I'm not going to.
Don't sugarcoat it.
No, I don't like sugarcoating, no.
We're going to end this polling now. And Trudy, you can move on and introduce the players that are here joining us tonight.
Okay. All right. So first off, we have Miss Zoey Janice. Ah! She's going to be a senior for us this fall. She's from Eugene, Oregon. And she is the one who lives the farthest from here. Furthest? Farthest. I keep saying the wrong word. So who got that right? Caitlin, it doesn't count.
But where does she live?
Eugene, Oregon. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Avery in San Diego, but you are 100 miles further, Zoe. Yes, I coached Caitlin at Iowa State, and I coached her on a professional team for 5 years. Zoe. Yep, and Kylie was our most recent first team All-League. All-Ivy. Good job, guys. Well, not on the last one. A lot of you guys got that one wrong. So, yes, Zoey Janice from Eugene, setter, going to be a senior captain for us. We got Maddie Baptiste. She's from Austin. Going to be a junior and also a returning captain for us. And then we have Emma Worthington, freshman setter from Omaha, Nebraska. And she's a hotelie. I would think she'll be a captain eventually. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, Emma. But why don't you guys, Zoe, why don't you tell me your favorite moment of last season?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Probably after we beat Princeton at Princeton.
You took mine.
Yeah. It was a good highlight. We were all just kind of raging in the locker room, and Trudy broke the thing of pretzels and smashed the pretzels into the carpet. Not that anyone know that, but we just
video.
Crazy. So yeah, I would say that was my highlight of the season.
We cleaned it up, Anita. Don't worry.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, Maddie, your favorite.
Ooh. Probably after that one, I'd have to say like after the Penn game when we almost lost in 5, when we like finally got it together and just figured it all out and just decided to play. We were down 17. What were we down? 17-12 or something like that?
Yeah,
in the third, and almost lost in 3 to Penn, which shouldn't shouldn't be the situation for us. But yeah, I think after winning that game, coming back was a really fun moment for the team.
Yeah, almost gave me a heart attack. Thanks. All right, Emma, you're up.
Well, after the pretzels incident, I would say seeing all the support in San Francisco as one of my first tournaments, that was really fun to meet everyone's parents and see all the alumni and support there.
Yeah, that was really cool. We have a picture with all the alumni, I think, oh my gosh, how many? And they brought their kids. So there was a lot of people there. It was awesome. I was going to ask you guys, so now that we're in like this craziness, what are you guys doing to ensure that the team is sticking together and communicating? Because we still want to, kick everybody's butt next year.
I think, well, for starters, naturally, we're kind of always in communication. So that's not really something that's different. I think people are already always talking all the time, especially now that we're not together. But we, as a team with the coaches, have had Zoom meetings every week. We just had one as a team without the coaches to like catch up. Sorry, coaches. Which was really nice to see everybody. We've made small little like workout groups. So we have 4 groups with someone from each of the 3 classes, so that we can stay in communication about what are you doing for workouts, what challenge do you have from somebody. Like Jill sent our group this like boxing workout the other day that she was doing. So just to keep in contact with that kind of stuff.
All right. There's dog number 2. All right. So as far as our goals next fall, Maddie, you want to take this? How are we gonna stay on track to get there?
Well, I think just like maintaining our team culture and also just figuring out like our new team identity, like you said, like we're not all going to be the loudest ones on the court always, but I think just keeping our like strong goals, just keeping like our strong mentality going forward. And like you said before with the team in our last meeting, we just talked about how like this really disruptive random time that we have now is definitely going to like define like who comes out on top next season. So I think just keeping that in mind is really going to like help separate us from the rest of the teams in the league.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Emma, how are you handling online courses?
It's been an adjustment this week for sure. It's kind of weird, like some of my classes I'm able to choose my lecture times, or they're recording the lecture so I don't necessarily have to be there, but I like to be live just so I can ask questions if I need to and all that. But otherwise, finding time to work out has been a little more challenging this week since I do have classes and I don't just have any time during the day that I can work out, but I'm still finding time and making sure that I'm working towards those goals too.
So when you guys didn't have anything to do, what time were you getting up in the morning?
So
come on.
Good day was like 10:30. Like that was like a commitment, honestly. Like just getting up before 10:30 was like, wow, you did it.
I don't know if I had a hard time with the time adjustment this time around. I usually don't, but I feel like by like 11 p.m. I was like exhausted, and then I was up at like 8. I don't really know why. It's not exactly what I wanted, but how it happened.
Okay, any other questions that you guys can think of, Keith? We kind of flew through them.
Well, we're willing to, we can open it up to all of our attendees now if you have any questions for Trudy or our 3 players that have joined us. It's a small enough group. When we do this, we typically have people chat in their questions and then we read them back. But we have a small enough group, I think, where if you want to ask a question, you can just kind of raise your hand. We'll call on you and you can, I'll unmute you and you can address your questions. And it looks like Dutch has the hand up already. So go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge that we have somebody amongst us who was on Cornell's very first volleyball team. Alex Harwilak, who's now Alex Solik. So she was a setter on the 72, 73, and 74 team. She graduated in 75. And we're hoping she comes back for the 50th anniversary when we start sending that stuff out. But I just want to acknowledge that the Cornell volleyball family, when you're on the team forever.
Long time ago. And 2 kids who graduated from Cornell.
Yes, and had 2.
And I'm in Los Angeles, by the way.
Yeah.
So do the players have any questions for a member of the first team? We can.
What were your jerseys like?
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
They were fine. Andrea did a good job getting them for us.
We did not have our own uniforms. We borrowed the uniforms from the women's basketball team, and they were polyester sleeveless tops and skirts with bloomers for the bottom.
Asking about the shirts was the wrong part of the question. Yeah.
After the third match, we skipped practice one night. Remember this, Alex? And we all went to Woolworths.
Yes.
And we bought white shirts and red shorts, and I took them to a print shop, and the kids had their favorite number printed on them. So the first 2 years, the athletes bought their own uniforms.
Like I said, Andrea took good care of us.
Did we lose our coach?
Yep.
All right, Caitlin, I think that means you take over, right? Isn't that protocol?
It sounds like her internet just logged off, but she should be able to get it back, hopefully.
I think it's a Zoom coup, pretty sure.
I see her.
Where she lives, she's lucky she has internet at all.
Does anybody else from our audience have questions for our players or
Alex.
coaches that are here?
What's the incoming class look like?
Well, one of them, Maddie, why don't you tell them about one of them?
Well, my sister Riley will be coming next year to come play with us, so I'm really excited
Awesome.
about that.
Awesome.
But the other 3 girls are awesome as well. We got Kate from, where's Kate? Michigan,
Michigan, yep.
outside. And then Sydney Moore from California, I think San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
She's a middle coming in. And then we have Alexa from Boston coming in. They're all awesome. Can't wait to have them in the gym.
Awesome.
Yeah, very excited for the incoming class. So,
Can I ask a question?
go ahead.
John Webster has the floor.
So Maddie and Emma, either one of you guys can take this. So you graduated 6 seniors last year, right? And I know that the coaches like to take credit for recruiting these kids, but I think in the end, it's really the players that recruit these guys.
100%, yeah.
And so out of the 6 seniors that you had last year, if there was one kid that you were going to pick to recruit that gotta have freshmen, who would it be and why? Who would it have been and why?
Has to be the sister, right? I mean,
Out of the incoming freshmen this year, like who would we have picked? Is that what
No,
it was?
from the seniors who just graduated, because I don't want to create any tension in the locker room. But from the seniors who just graduated, who would have been the go-to person to recruit that you would have picked to spend time with somebody who is visiting campus, thinking about Cornell, and why?
I mean, all of them are great. I'm not saying that this person's my favorite at all, but probably Sophia. I think she definitely like embodies like Cornell volleyball the most, and I think not even just like on the volleyball side too. I think she definitely like represents the campus and the school very well. So I'd probably pick Sophia.
I was thinking about Sophia too, but I'd also add in Katie Randolph. She just continually works hard and makes sure that everyone's on the same page and on the same track and working towards the same goals.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
you're on, Joe.
So what is it about Cornell volleyball that sets it apart from other schools in the Ivy League?
I think we kind of just answered this in one of our little Instagram videos, but I think the biggest thing for me is our like culture. I think that I look at a lot of other teams and, you know, I don't know them. I could be wrong, but I don't see the same like bond that we have. And I think like that family aspect of it gives us like a foundation to build on in like every other aspect. So I think just like the relationships that we have with each other makes it way easier to accomplish all of our other goals.
To add to that, as a freshman, it was super easy to come into the culture as well. Everyone like made sure that we knew what was going on and made sure that we knew that they wanted us there and that we knew that they wanted us to help the team succeed.
I can attest to the incredible culture at Cornell. It has been a pleasure to get to know everybody, and it really is special, the connection you guys all have to each other.
That is just FYI, that's Justine Mccluskey. She came up to me after our Columbia match. She brought her daughter to the little kids clinic and said, "Hey, I'd really like to help out." And I'm like, okay, who are you? She's like, "Oh, I'm from Trumansburg. I live in Ithaca. I played college volleyball. And I came to your match and it was so much fun. I just want to help any way I can." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, where'd you play in college?" She's like, "Oregon."
Sign her up.
Like, okay.
We'll
So that's
try
just
not to hold that against her. Yeah.
I knew you would have to say something about that, Dwayne.
Dwayne, are you a Beaver?
I am at my Washington Husky.
Oh,
come on.
Still a Cornellian at heart, but
yeah. Well, okay, I won't hold that against you too much then, because you're not a Beaver.
For the players, what has been, either this year or previous years, what has been your favorite venue that you've played at, outside of your home court, of course?
I really liked playing at Princeton. In high school, I just played in a really small gym, so I like when the bleachers are kind of right on top of you and everyone's like in the game. So I thought that I liked playing at Princeton, and I felt kind of at home there more than the big gyms.
Do they play in Dillon or Jadwin?
Dillon.
Well,
they don't get to play in the dome at St. John Fisher anymore, you know?
oh, that was at Elmira College with the purple volleyballs.
That and you could hear the echo after the ball bounced
Right,
like 7
right.
times. It's crazy.
I thought that Buffalo was kind of cool. It was like I don't even know what you would call it. It's kind of like a field house. I feel like it was one of the bigger places we've played, and it was just like really different than any of the other gyms I'd been in. So that one was cool to see.
We played there one year and they hadn't turned the heat on yet. And so,
The Buffalo.
Nina, were you on the team then? I don't know. Everybody who played with their, well, Dwayne, you would remember that. They had their jackets on and blankets, and it was a crazy time.
We played in a much colder facility than that at the Las Vegas junior tournaments at the trade center there. It was the 8 a.m. matches, it was freezing cold. It was brutal. Yeah. But playing those very big facilities, as a setter, depth perception can be an issue. But you were happy playing in the big gym and
I didn't mind it too much. We have other places that we played that I think are worse. Like going to Penn isn't a fun place to set. The lights in there are just really bright, and it's also big. So no, I thought it was actually big enough that it wasn't that bad.
Okay,
yes, Alyssa, I'm glad you also appreciate how horrible that is.
So at Penn, are you in the Palestra?
Yep.
Yeah.
So players, we talked about a little bit of your recruiting class, and maybe Trudy, I think you signed off while Caitlin was answering that question. So if you want to elaborate on the recruiting class in a minute, that might be great. I'm curious, what for the players, what attracted you to Cornell? Besides the coach, obviously, that is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
I think for me, like when I met the players, I think that really just like resonated with me because they were all very similar to like what I really wanted out of a school. I think that they had their priorities in the right place with school and volleyball, that kind of thing going on. And I think also just watching the bench, I think at a Cornell game is just, you can just see how much everyone really loves each other and just really wants to win. I think that's something I really wanted to be a part of.
Where are you from again, Maddie?
I'm from Texas, Austin.
Oh, okay.
I think for me, it was a big part was the people, and then also just finding an institution that had such a good balance of academics and athletics, and seeing the way that Cornell was like such a big like growing program and was having success, but also knew that academics was a priority, and like seeing the way that Cornell like leaves that like time slot for athletics, and like knowing that like our coaches are very supportive of like our academic goals and like the things that we need to get done was really important to me.
Yeah, academics were really big for me too. I knew that I still wanted to play volleyball and I still love volleyball, but I know that volleyball is going to have to end for me at some point. So I wanted to make sure that I was going to a place that would push me in the right direction for life after volleyball.
And that's a great transition to what is after volleyball? Do the players know what their professional pursuits are going to be at this time?
This summer I'm supposed to be getting my EMT license. If things maybe get back to normal, I don't really know. But I was hoping to do that for a few years and then go to school to be a physician's assistant. So that's my plan right now.
For me, after this, I plan on getting my master's in public affairs / administration and kind of working with government business, like partnerships and that kind of thing, specializing in those.
I have no idea what I want to do, but I like where I'm at.
There's no hurry.
Yeah.
Trudy, did you want to talk any more about your incoming class?
Sure. I don't know what Caitlin already spoke to. We have 4 coming in this fall. Very excited about them. They're all kids who are great fits for our program, culture-wise, character-wise. They all love dogs, which is a big deal. They're from all over the place, just great humans. We have 2 middles coming in. Sydney Moore, her mom played basketball at Northwestern, comes from a very athletic family. Are we going to have a little kid in the background, Keith? Dang it.
Nope, not yet.
Dang it.
They're getting the stiff arm before they can get past my virtual background.
Sydney, we knew of her when she played at New York City Juniors, but she moved out to California and ended up making one of the top teams down in Southern California. They were consistently ranked in the top 3 in the country. So she's been training and playing against kids who are going to the Pac-12. So really excited to get her on campus. Alexa is from Boston, Massachusetts, just a total volleyball nut. She is raw, lots of things, lots of potential in her. I can't wait to get her on campus and start training her. And she just likes to hit the ball as hard as she can, which I can appreciate that. That's the basis. So that's a good base. And she loves blocking. She understands that if you block the ball, you don't have to do all the other stuff. So, the simple things. And then we have Riley Baptiste, Maddie's little sister, nice little setter. She's a little shorter than Maddie. Great athlete. Already know she's from a great family, so we don't have to worry about that. And she's going to do great things for us. She can do anything that we need her to. And then Kate Strachan is an outside from Michigan, also plays on one of the top clubs in the country. And she's not the player because she's got kids on her team that are all going Big Ten and SEC, and she's not the one that's sticking out, like going up and hitting the crap out of the ball. Or my French, sorry. But I know you guys have heard that language before, so I'm not too worried about it. But she wants the ball in tight situations, and we saw her play in a couple matches where it was 17-17 in the third set, tiebreaker in the semifinals of the national championship, and she wanted the ball. She was passing the ball. She was doing all the little things. So she's a really exciting player to watch too, and so really excited to get them on campus. They're excited to get here. We committed them and last spring this time of the year, and it seems like forever ago. We're like, they'll text me, we're so ready to, especially now that they're not in school. Now they're just ready to come. So, but they'll be fun to watch. We have a great group and core coming back as well. So it should be a really fun gym next year because we have kids who have a ton of high level experience coming in. So it's just going to keep getting better and better in the gym. We're really excited.
How do they feel about having lost their last club season?
They're heartbroken. They're heartbroken. I talked to Alexa yesterday, and we're still communicating with them pretty regularly. And they miss their teammates. The 18s year is the fun year. You're not getting recruited anymore. You've decided where you're going to go. You're just with your friends and you're playing and enjoying the game and getting better every day and getting ready for college. And they can't do it. They can't even see each other anymore. So, and it's for them. It's they're all going to college in the fall. So, it's tough. I mean, it stinks. And they're missing a lot of senior festivities in high school too. And I just feel awful for them. My nephew is a senior in high school, and they're missing the best semester, so, and then you throw the club volleyball on top of it, but they're okay. I mean, there's not much you can do about it, and it's for a good reason. So they all have a good perspective on it. So
our region is still talking about trying to host a bid tournament at sometime in May. It seems completely unrealistic to me.
Right. Well, they just canceled Crossroads. I think they were going to do it in June. Yeah.
One of our teams was on the way down there when it got canceled. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Yeah.
Do we have any more questions before we start to wrap things up?
One quick question: what night on the schedule is the throwback uniform night?
Oh boy.
Let's do it.
Kris, that might require your PowerPoint presentation.
That was throwback, right?
Actually, when the 50th anniversary, you guys, when we bring them back, you guys should don the old uniforms.
Yes.
I don't know. That 100% polyester might have gone in the trash a long time ago.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Well, before we say goodbye, I have one final question for the players. What about the outside of volleyball? What about the campus are you most missing right now? Every Cornellian kind of has those areas that they're nostalgic for outside of their sport. What are those things you're missing right now?
I'm seeing people post stuff who are still there, and the weather is finally seems to be really nice all over the place. And so people are at the gorges and going to First Dam and hanging out. So I think those are the things that we only get a slim chance to do. And now that it's the time to do it and we're not there is a little sad.
Yes, that's definitely the little things, just walking home, the sun's out, nice spring, Ithaca day, and just being with friends, going, sitting on the slope, that kind of stuff I definitely miss.
Totally agree. Right when the weather was getting nice, we got sent home.
It's supposed to snow tomorrow, guys, if it makes you feel any better.
For me, trying to walk across Beebe Lake when it was frozen, and then getting my ice skates and deciding this is even better, which you're not allowed to do anymore.
Right.
Probably a good rule.
Don't try that one, T.
I rode my bike through campus on Tuesday afternoon and I passed 3 people outside. Very, very bizarre being on campus right now.
Nobody
How many
there.
passed
Yeah.
you?
What?
How many passed you?
Oh, 72.
That's funny.
Well, okay. I think that'll wrap it up. It's 8:01. Oh, did we have a question?
Can I
Sorry,
say
Brett.
something really fast? Sorry, this is Brett Wood, and I want to mention to the group of players how lucky they are to have Trudy and Caitlin. I'm just a Cornell alum soccer player and now a volleyball dad, but as a president at a company like Toyota, we look at culture all the time when we look to hire people. And I counted tonight that the word culture was mentioned 8 times. And I don't think I've ever seen that in companies that we look at to either partner with or acquire. And to see that in a volleyball program, the culture starts at the top with somebody like Trudy and Caitlin and their assistants. And you are really, really fortunate to be in that environment. And when Andy Knoll introduced me to Trudy, I knew right away in 5 minutes that you had a winner there. And I just wanted to mention that from an outsider's perspective, we watch, we live in Manhattan Beach, and on Saturday mornings, we would get up and watch on ESPN Plus all your games. And I could tell right away by your sideline cheering that you had good culture. And that was another good example of not just watching the play, but what the players throughout the whole team was supporting everyone. And you're really blessed and lucky to have that situation. And I just wanted to shout out to Trudy and Caitlin for that.
Thank you, Brett.
Everybody's talking about culture these days, but that's not the kind of culture they're talking about.
Well, thank you again, everyone. Trudy, if you want to have the last word, say goodnight to everybody, and then we'll be done here.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Hopefully we're going to be doing these more often and more regularly. I enjoy this stuff. But, you know, even in between, if you guys are ever around, obviously not right now, but if you ever want to get some coffee, chat a little bit, talk volleyball, talk about anything, I'm always up for that. Talk dogs. You know, I have 4 of them. So if you need any advice, I gotcha. But thank you again. We appreciate you guys so much. Stay healthy, wash your hands. If you need toilet paper, I'm also a hoarder of that. So let me know. I'll throw some in the mail for you. But again, thank you so much. So much. Go Big Red.
Yeah. Hey, you, Nina the Worm.
All right. From Ithaca, where we're getting an inch of snow tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.